I can't deny how awesome that startup sequence is. Alright. It's gonna get extreme, because it's PlayStation! It's super edgy and hardcore. There's an extent to where that's kind of, like, worth satirizing, but there's also an element of it that is actually cool. From the perspective of someone who was there, and then, of course, revisiting it. Decades later. Okay. Wait, is this controller... That controller is not plugged in. This controller's plugged in. Okay. Well, I hope you picked it up from the title, but we're playing Jampack Volume 2. It would have been nice to start from the very beginning with Volume 1. I don't have Volume 1, so here we go. But this is one of the jam packs that I actually played prior to owning a PlayStation. Okay. I'm not going to play them in alphabetical order. I'm starting with Tomb Raider 2 because I'm really familiar with the demo. And I need a little breathing room as I talk to y'all. But a lot of these demos have really strict time limits anyway, so it's... We're not going to be spending a ton of time on each one. This is interesting. In the final build, you hear the helicopter. Wasn't quite ready yet. That's one of the things I like about these demos, is getting to play, like, earlier builds of games. Yeah, sometimes they end up being pretty close to the final product, sometimes there's some interesting differences. I played the shit out of this Tomb Raider 2 demo back in the day. It was like... I couldn't get enough of it. Like, I had never played anything like this. And that was true for a lot of people. Like, the closest a lot of people have been to, this kind of game was like Prince of Persia. Oops, it's like completely screwed that up. See, that's what happens when I'm talking to y'all. I normally don't fall down here with the tigers. I'm sorry, Laura. I hit select instead of start. Select takes you back to the menu. Let's try that again. What was I even saying? Oh, okay. Alright, this came out in 1997. So, the PlayStation came out in 1994 in Japan, so... You know, it took a minute before it became the juggernaut we all know. So, a few things to point out is, you gotta think about, like, in my part of the world, the N64 was not even a year old yet. The Saturn was already in a lot of trouble in the West, but it was hanging on for a little while longer. There were still brand new Sega Genesis games coming out. And it really wasn't until 97 that the PlayStation really, like, turned into this seemingly unstoppable force. Because that's when we had Tomb Raider 2, Final Fantasy 7, and we were seeing games like Resident Evil 2 and Metal Gear Solid starting to take shape. And you were starting to see demos for those surface. And then, of course, there were games like, Jet Moto, which is the game that ultimately won me over to the PlayStation. So if you've watched a lot of my videos, especially stuff where I play Saturn games like Knights, I do express a lot of regret. I don't regret having a PlayStation. I don't regret having these experiences. My regret is more so, like, kind of giving into that whole, like, you gotta be cool and extreme and edgy, because that's how you'll be accepted by your peers, and then, maybe you won't get bullied and beat up so much. But, like, going in a little too strong on that mentality, and basically making PlayStation, like, my only gaming experience. Like, I still played a few games on computer, but it was basically, like, Command & Conquer, Civilization 2, a little bit of Warcraft 2. And even then, like, once Command & Conquer made it to the PlayStation, I was playing it here. The graphics weren't as good, but everything else was, like, for me, top-notch, so. And I liked being able to play it on the PlayStation, on my own time, and not having to compete with family members to access to the computer. Yeah. And the PlayStation of 30 years ago is not the PlayStation of now. Well, at least not in 2025. Might be a little different in the good timeline in 2019, but that's a whole other wheel of cheese. It goes beyond the scope of this video. Yeah, Sony was different, like, I mean, they had their scuzziness, As an adult, learning about some of their shenanigans that I was oblivious to as a kid, it's kind of like, oh, okay, you weren't exactly playing fair with your competition. In fact, Sony didn't want to have competition. They literally wanted to just buy their way into dominating the video game industry. And in 1994, 5, 6, 7, you could do that. And, a lot of us, average consumer schmucks had nothing but a positive opinion of Sony. It's like, oh yeah, this is the company that made the Walkman, and they make, like, the cool CD players, and, like, home theater equipment, and all this stuff. It's like, so they were kind of a darling for, consumers, and the media, and retailers, and, Sony squeezed that for all it was worth, and pretty much, like, seemingly overnight, especially in gaming publications and all that, it's like they managed to just kind of, like, squeeze Sega out of the picture almost entirely. At least in the West. It was different in Japan. Of course, Nintendo fans were always going to support Nintendo, but, Nintendo was relevant, and the Game Boy was, insanely popular, but it's kind of like Sony even managed to kind of push Nintendo's home console relevance somewhat to the side. Not quite a niche, but kind of like, you just kind of knew, it's like, yeah, the N64 is liked and popular enough, but, like, it's never gonna really actually challenge the PlayStation, at least in terms of its metrics. and the sheer volume of its library. And the variety. And then the demo ends. It's like, oh man, I finally made it into the Great Wall, and then the demo ends, so. I make less of an ass of myself in Tomb Raider 2 than in Tomb Raider The Last Revelation. If you watch me play the Dreamcast demo disc. Okay. Let's play some Colony Wars. So I guess the order I'm going to play these is kind of, so there's 12 games on here. I own the full versions of 3 of them, so I guess we'll just go with that. So I do have Tomb Raider 2, Colony Wars, and Nuclear Strike, the full games. So a lot of these are missing music and like voiceovers and sound. I think in some cases it might be because of being early builds, but also I think the size restrictions of the disc. I believe one of the games even explicitly mentions, like, hey, due to the storage restraints of the CD, like, they had to leave the music out. This demo, I have a particular memory tied to. I remember playing the Colony Wars demo in Circuit City. How many of you remember Circuit City? Like, Best Buy's, like, closest competition. Which one was the camera? Seriously? I know there's a button to change the camera view. I prefer the third-person view, but anyway. Obviously, Colony Wars is far from the first, like, fully 3D open navigation, you know, spaceship shooter, but they're probably among the first that was just, like, so smooth and playable. The full version really has some fantastic sound design. It's really cool. If you like Star Wars, or like Star Wars style, you know, like ship to ship and dogfighting in space, but with like an original setting, you should totally give this a go. I can't remember what happened to Psygnosis. I think they got absorbed into Sony. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm surprised Colony Wars never had anything else. So there's some extra videos you can get. If you your clue is you can use the shoulder button to flip the little videos around. So what do we have? Square, circle, triangle.
Clock says party time! Sweet, like candy. Let's get it on! Party blow! Tail time! It's tail time! It's tail time! The clock says party time.
So, oh, I'm supposed to play Nuclear Strike next. Okay. According to the rules that I made up. But, Gex, okay. One of the later jam packs has the Gex Enter the Gecko demo, and I played that a lot as a kid. For some reason, I never bought the full game. Like, I must have been, like, so blinded with Final Fantasy fever at that point that I just forgot about everything else except for
Nuclear devices coming all
Metal Gear
shapes
Solid
and
and,
sizes, like the lunatics who use it.
you know, like
Anyone
Tekken
who tells you that the threat of thermonuclear
and
war
a
is
select
over
few
is
other
fool,
titles, but,
enemy, or both.
and I know recently we have had the Gex Trilogy re-release, which is cool. I support and love that it's gotten a re-release finally. I still want to play the full version on PlayStation. I know it's jankier, especially with the camera, but like I want to give it at least one go. Yeah.
Welcome to Strike, serving democracy for over 50 years.
Yeah, get some. Nuclear Strike is so good. And this is the last game in the series. Like a successful, like a financially successful, critically, commercially well-acclaimed game, and EA is just like, we're not gonna make any more. Ridiculous. Stuff blows up so good. Yeah, as soon as you fly to a certain point, the demo just ends. But at least it gives you a feel for the way the game handles, so. Nuclear Strike's really good. Okay, here's another demo I played the shit out of as a kid. Like, at home with a jam pack, and also, like, in stores.
Web systems.
Cool Borders 2 was... I played a lot of it at Best Buy, I remember that.
Cool.
I think this is the first, like, 3D snowboarding game that I tried, and then later I played 1080 snowboarding on N64, which I like.
Here we go.
Unfortunately, I didn't know about steep slope sliders on Saturn. Although, honestly, this might be the better game, but... I think my favorite snowboarding game of all time is still SSX on PlayStation 2. It's hard to beat that.
Okay.
Showtime.
And then Web Systems did make Rippin' Riders for Dreamcast, which is pretty good.
Who will smoke the competition?
Ready? This is another one I've never played the full version of. There's probably some really good music that I missed out on. And for all I know, the final build might be that much more playable, so...
Attack 1 is coming up. You better hurry. Go, go, go.
I always like the sound effect of the snowboard on the powdery snow.
Great! Hey!
This game is really unforgiving if you happen to collide with anything.
The checkpoint is coming up. You better hurry. Time extended. Wow!
Yeah, there's some polygonal clipping and some jagginess, but I still think it looks cool. Cool borders.
The next curve is a sharp one.
You're a sharp one. Oh, this turn sucks. Now! I said,
Be a whip.
the other riders are assholes.
There's the finish line. Don't eat it now. What are you doing?
What a jackass! You see that? There's all of this territory. I do want to give the full version a go at some point. Never played the first Cool Borders. I did play Cool Borders 3. But I don't think that one was made by UEP Systems, and I don't remember it being as good. So, I think this one, for some reason, I literally ignored it. Until, reacquiring this disc.
Mountain!
Oh, going back to what I was saying, though. So, like, at this point, no analog controls for these games.
Mustang!
You have to think, that wasn't the standard yet. You know, the N64 had analog controls from Jump, and by this point, the Saturn had the 3D control pad. And then some PC games, you know, they had steering wheels and flight sticks, and I think there may have already been a steering wheel for the PlayStation, but most games did not support any kind of analog control input. That wasn't standard yet.
Hey, slow down! Who was that?
This is a race. Why am I slowing down? Maybe that's why.
You crazy idiot! Who was that?
Aww.
Time up!
Oh wait, did I lose time for hitting the wall? Whoops. You know, that actually controlled okay and seemed to run smoothly, but I'm not sure how I feel about it right now. It kind of looks like a budget title, So maybe I could pick up the full version really cheap. Who can say? I guess while we're in a racing mood, let's play Test Drive 4. I mean, I have played this demo before. I'm trying not to judge it because I know, for one thing, we're missing sounds and music. And in the case of this game, there's only one track, and it's not even the full track, so. But my impression of it so far, and I doubt that's going to change in the next few minutes, is that this is kind of... Well, it seems like one's clearly faster than the other. This kind of seems like a lower quality version of Need for Speed.
3, 2, 1, go!
But again, you know, at some point I'll give the full game a spin, 'cause if I'm being honest with myself, racing games are my favorite genre, and even a lot of mediocre racing games I have found a lot of enjoyment in, so. And I can at least appreciate that at this point in time, you know, Need for Speed, you know, had some competition. Although, when was the last time we had a new Need for Speed game, and not just a remake or remaster? I mean, for that matter, when was the last time that Need for Speed felt like Need for Speed? Had its own identity and not either trying to copy Gran Turismo and be super serious, or trying to be silly and Fast and Furious. Oh, I have a horn, look. I'm not doing so well, I'm in 6th place. Oh, that's right, we are in Britain. That's why they're driving on that side of the road. Oh no, it's hot fuzz. Well, at least this one does have some music. So. And you know, to its credit, it's running smoothly, like the draw distance is pretty decent. Shit. What's going on? That's that. You know, it's okay. I like Need for Speed High Stakes way better, but it's okay. I think I've seen copies of this going around as cheap as $5, so, you know. It's probably worth a go. Fighting force. We went from a mediocre racer, and now we'll play a mediocre beat 'em up, hey? Because... that's a little too small to read, I'm sorry. Being just another gamer blows. That's why we created the new PlayStation Underground CD Mag. 4 dual CD issues designed to take hardcore gamers to the extreme. Sony, they really leaned in hard on the teenage ego. It worked. Oh, whoops, did it leave the demo? It did. Let's go back. I guess there's no attract mode within each demo. But in the credits, the project coordinators, marketing, like, there was a lot of women involved, so hey. At least it wasn't a total sausage fest over there at SCEA. And even though Sony was up to some scuzzy things behind the scenes, I do get the sense that at least at this time, there are people at Sony and within, like, the PlayStation, like, you know, subdivision of Sony, like, there's people that actually gave a shit about the gaming hobby. And PlayStation was, like, this is an actual, you know, quote from Sony, is that this is a games machine, first and foremost. And they started to abandon that idea a bit with PlayStation 2 and trying to make, like, a PC for the living room and trying to have a multimedia, like, set-top box kind of thing. That's a story for when we get into the PlayStation 2 video. Because I'm going to do one of those as well. For 25 years of PlayStation 2, can you believe it? I mean, 25 and 30 is not that big of a difference, yet somehow the PlayStation 2's anniversary feels, like, more dramatic than the original PlayStation's. Also, I realize that by the time that you see this video, the original PlayStation's more like 31 years old in Japan. I was supposed to have videos like this around the time that I was doing like 30 years of Saturn. I had something filmed, but I didn't like how it was turning out. I felt like it was going to be a disservice, so I shelved it, and I didn't mean to wait this long. But at least for, like, those of us in the West, we're still at the 30-year mark. Is this over already? It's over already. Okay. You know, that's actually not too bad. It's kind of stiff and clunky. But, you know, for an early go at a fully 3D beat 'em up, that's not bad. I honestly think if Sega had licensed that engine, they could have made a pretty decent Streets of Rage 4 with that, but it's neither here nor there. Ooh, look, video! Triangle, circle, square? Yes.
If you haven't subscribed to the PlayStation Underground yet, here's what you've been missing.
No, that's a real website.
PlayStation Underground, the coolest thing to happen to video games since the PlayStation.
Us hormonal teenagers, we ate it right up. See, Sony took what Sega did with the Genesis and cranked it to 11. Okay. I already know this isn't good, but I'll play it. Now, the retail release might be better, but this is kind of a shoddy attempt at recreating Virtua Fighter or Tekken. Or maybe it's also got some Last Bronx vibes, although I didn't see any weapons, but... When you play something like this, it reminds you of why Virtua Fighter and Tekken, aside from just being great games, were such standouts. Like, I mean, the frame rate's okay, but this is like, it just feels really stiff, and there's no, like, sidestepping, there's no jumping. It feels clunky, like Battle Arena Toshinden. And I mean, I don't mind the chunky, low poly characters. I kind of like it, but this kind of plays like ass. It has a very strict time limit anyway, so... Oh, but also, back to what I was saying about analog control, because I brought this up and didn't complete my point earlier. It's an ad for the analog controller. It's not the DualShock. This is a different controller. There's no vibration, it has longer handles, and it has concave joysticks. I want one. I've wanted one for like 30 years. Well, 28 years. I still want one. Like, why Sony went with convex sticks and then stuck with that for like 2 decades, I will never understand. Alright, Intelligent Cube. This is kind of a cool puzzle game. the physical copies got kind of expensive. I think partly it's just being an exclusive. Probably didn't have a ton of copies printed. I don't think it ever sold enough to make greatest hits. And then the digital, like, PlayStation Store version on a PlayStation 3, I think, was only available in certain regions, so I think that caused demand for the physical disc, at least in my region, to go up. That's my running theory, at least. Oops.
Again.
I think I was hitting the wrong button. What the hell am I doing? Well, that made me think of Catherine. Zero points. Oh, yeah, that's about right. IQ 0. Oh, come on. I'm not an American politician. Hold on. Let me look at... Oh, when I hit square, I caused the black cubes to speed up. Okay. We'll try that again. This time after referencing the manual. You have to destroy... the green ones. Wait. I already forgot. X. Oh. Damn it. Ouch, okay. I'll have to spend more time with that one. That's one of those blink and you miss it if you do the wrong move, so. No, that seems interesting. I do want to play the full version of that at some point. Alright, what's left? So, believe it or not, I used to have a copy of NFL Game Day '98. My cousin D-Rock and I used to play a lot of American football games together. Like, I think I've mentioned in my NFL 2K video on Dreamcast that, like, my extended family and my dad is, were into football a lot in the 90s, and some of my family still is. So, playing football games, video games with them kind of made me feel more connected to them. And in my heart, I never really had any affection for the sport, but I'll be the cheeseheads, I guess. But a good sports game is still a good video game. And this was cool because it was one of the first, if not the first, fully polygonal. A lot of football games up to this point had been using 2D sprites for players and with 3D fields. So Sony was pushing the envelope in that respect, and it was nice that EA had competition. They weren't allowed to just buy the exclusive license and all of that. Why not?
47. Hot. Hot.
Yay! Yards were gained.
Blue 22. Hot. Hot.
This does run smoother than I remember. I thought it would be a little bit choppier. I mean, the animations, there's not a lot of frames. But the game's running pretty smooth.
Red 35. Blue 47.
I'm guessing the demo is going to end as soon as the 2 minutes are up.
Hot. Hot.
Yeah, that gives you a decent feel for how the game runs and plays. Please tell me it's not frozen. Gosh, how long have I been playing? 50 minutes. There's another video to watch. Square, triangle, circle. Oh, this one looks interesting. No pun intended. This looks like what a 3D Contra should have been. It also kind of makes me think of Expendable on the Dreamcast. Well, Expendable also was on PlayStation. I think of it more as a Dreamcast game. I mean, it could be ass. I've never played it, but the video looks pretty cool. It looks like it's running smoothly. I'll have to check that out. I don't think I've ever given Nightmare Creatures a spin, so let's have a look. See. It did well enough to get a sequel, I know that, which is on Dreamcast. Boy, that control feels stiff. I feel like this is the kind of game people point to for graphics and gameplay when they talk about, like, original PlayStation games being stiff. Okay. I do like the music. Aw, shit. Yeah, the movement feels weird. I guess it's... I'm not sure if it counts as tank controls, but... That was a bomb, right? I was just sitting there. Well, shit. Am I stuck inside him? Phrasing. And I'm kind of digging the atmosphere and the music, but I'm not sure what to make of the controls right now. It's not the worst thing I've ever played on the PlayStation, but... Oh dear. Ah. Did I defeat the werewolf dude, or did he just disappear? Oh dear. Oh, is that like an attachment to my weapon? 'Cause I totally... I assume there must be some kind of ranged attack I could have used to destroy that, right? Oh, that's cool though. I'm chopping him to bits. Oh, it's for a limited time. I should have known. Not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing, but... Oh jeez, are these gargoyles? Oh, that's a life replenishment? Okay. The end of the demo? I was actually starting to get into it a little bit. It's janky as hell, but I kinda like it. Oh, credits, yeah. You can see these. You couldn't really read the ones in the manual that I was showing you. Intro video by CDI. The Philips CDI made it. Okay. I saved this one for last. I played this demo a lot. I never picked up the full game. I should have, because I find this is really adorable and charming. And fairly unique. You know, there's a few other games like this, but not many. Okay, your girl here is a drummer. She's got rhythm. I can play Space Channel 5. This has always... It's always defeated me. I'm pretty sure I didn't hit select. Hold on. Don't you judge me. Game Gear. Oh, she's over there. Shh.
Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you wanna test me, I'm sure you'll find the things I'll teach ya. Sure to beat ya. Nevertheless, you'll get a lesson from teacher. Now kick,
Kick,
punch,
punch,
jump,
chop,
block.
block,
Once more now, kick,
kick,
punch,
punch,
jump,
chop,
and block.
block,
Don't get cocky, it's gonna get rocky. We gonna
It seems like I'm doing it.
the jockey now, duck,
duck,
jump,
jump,
turn,
turn,
pause. Listen carefully, jump,
jump,
pause,
hold,
duck,
duck,
and turn.
turn,
Yeah, I see you're getting better. Kick to the limit in order to get her now. Kick, punch,
kick, punch,
chop, block,
chop, block,
chop, kick,
chop, kick,
punch, block.
punch, block,
Gonna get harder now. Duck and jump,
duck, jump,
turn and pause.
turn, hold,
Duck and turn,
duck, turn,
jump and pause.
jump, hold,
Come on now, why don't you follow my words because we're almost done. I'll make it easier first. I wanna see if you wanna see what it means to be the man with a master plan. Are you the man now? Here we go now. Kick, punch, block.
kick, punch, block,
Chop, kick, block.
chop, kick, block,
Block, turn and kick it.
block, kick,
Block, duck, punch.
block, duck, punch,
Duck, duck, turn.
duck, duck, turn,
Jump, kick, chop.
jump, kick, chop,
And punch, punch, punch.
punch, punch, punch,
Again.
what?
Like, I don't get it. It sounded like I was on the beat.
Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you wanna test me, I'm sure you'll find the things I'll teach ya. Sure to beat ya. Nevertheless, you'll get a lesson from teacher. Now kick,
Kick,
Oops.
punch,
punch,
jump,
I
chop,
was actually off there.
block.
block,
Once more now, kick,
kick,
punch,
punch,
jump,
chop,
and block.
block,
Don't get cocky, it's gonna get rocky. We're gonna move down to the next jockey. Now duck,
duck,
jump,
jump,
turn,
turn,
pause. Listen carefully, jump,
jump,
pause,
hold,
duck,
duck,
and turn.
turn,
Yeah, I see you're getting better. Kick to the limit in order to get her now. Kick, punch,
kick, punch,
chop, block,
chop, block,
chop, kick,
chop, kick,
punch, block.
punch, block,
Gonna get harder now. Duck and jump,
duck, jump,
turn and pause.
turn, hold,
Duck and turn,
duck, turn,
jump and pause.
jump, hold,
Come on now, why don't you follow my words because we're almost done. I'll make it easier first. I wanna see if you wanna see what it means to be the man with a master plan. Are you the man now? Here we go now. Kick, punch, block.
kick, punch, block,
Chop, kick, block.
chop, kick, block,
Block, turn and kick it.
block, turn, kick,
Block, duck, punch.
block, duck, punch,
Duck, duck, turn.
duck, duck, turn,
Jump, kick, chop.
jump, kick, chop,
And punch, punch, punch.
punch, punch, punch.
That's it for today. Good job, Parappa. You can go on to the next stage now.
Yahoo! All right.
Okay, we did it. Gosh, I can't even imagine. I mean, I can imagine, but I don't want to think about it, like, not doing this on a CRT. I mean, okay, like, if you're running a really high-quality emulator in game mode on a modern display, I guess you'll be okay, but still, the timing is, like, really unforgiving. But anyway, yeah. That's Jampack Volume 2, so it's complicated, but still, I salute 30 years of PlayStation and what the brand used to mean. I'm trying to get a full set of these, so if anyone has any, I have 5 of them in total right now. If anyone has any that they want to get rid of, let me know. Let me make you an offer, okay? But thanks for watching. Much loves. And we will see you next time from the Retro Space Library and Arcade.